We are learning about the parameters in the unit test cases. And to handle that, we were using the inline data. There were some good things about the inline data, but there were some bad things also. Then to overcome all those problems, we were using the member data, and member data was extremely useful because in the member data, you were having the capability to handle the dynamic data creations as well. But if you think a little bit more carefully, you can notice that this member data, the method that we have created over here, is just a method in the same class. So it means if I want to reuse the same data in some other classes, then that is not possible over here. Now, for example, we are in a situation where we are writing the unit test cases and I want to share the data across multiple classes. The solution to this problem is working with the class data. Let's talk about that in this video. It is better to create a new class in a new folder. So at this place, maybe you can write some data helper, anything like this. So for example, I'm creating this new folder test data. Click on this OK button and here I'm writing a new class. This is the class that I'm having. This is my string helper test data. Now, if you have to work with that kind of data, then you have to use the same logic that we were doing over here. So what we were returning at this place, we were returning this I enumerable, the array of object. So simply we have to inherit this class from this place. Immediately you can notice that we are having one error. This is because we have to implement a method at this place. Let's do that. So we have to implement this method and this is the method that I have. Now from here I have to return some data. So we can return the data like this. Remember this get name you are having as a separate method. We can also use that at this place. If you are working with this I enumerable, then you will notice that there are two methods that we have to implement. This is the method that is needed by the xUnit framework, and over here in this method, I am returning the same data. Basically, the same method that we have written over here, I'm returning the same data. Remember, we are having this private method also at this place. So it depends on your situation. If you are working with some private data where you need to get some extra data, then also you can use it over here. Otherwise, you can write your logic at this place. You can also use some other conditions. For example, you are using a for loop to create your data. Now the overall picture is that we are having our data in a separate class and now we have to use this new class in our unit test case. So let's just copy the name of this class, go back to our unit test case file, which is this string helper tests. And remember at this place we were using this member data. Now let's just comment this line and over here I have to use the class data. Now let's focus what is this class data. So if I go to the implementation of this class data, you can notice that this is again a data attribute and here in the constructor we have to provide a type. So to get the type we can use another operator which is type of, and in this operator we have to provide the name of our class which is this test data. Let's copy it, go back over here and I'm going to paste it. Now we have to resolve the namespace. Let's do that also. Let's just comment these inline data also. We don't need them for now. So just to keep it simple, we are having a unit test case at this place. This is the theory type and here I'm using this class data attribute. In this class data, this time I'm getting my inputs from this separate class. Let's just run this unit test case, run all of them. You can notice that this unit test case is successful and there are three inputs that we are passing at this place. Now let's test what will happen if you want to test this scenario with member data also. So I'm going to run it again and see how this will work. This time again you can notice that all 6 test cases are passing. This is because we are getting 3 inputs from this method which is the member data and 3 we are getting from this class which is this class data. We can also use the inline data at this place. Let's just verify that logic too. So I'm going to use inline data, member data, and the class data. Let's run this unit test case again and see how this will work this time. You can notice for all 10 test scenarios, we are getting the success output. So it is working as expected. If you will check the implementation of this method carefully, then you will notice that there is some problem at this place. What is the problem? We are returning the array of object from this method. This is a big problem. Why it is a big problem? Because in the object you can store anything and you will not even get the compile time error. But is there any other way where we can fix this problem? Yes, there is a way to fix all these things. Now let's just copy it and create one more class. I'm just renaming it with 1 at this place, and this time instead of using this I enumerable we have to inherit it from the theory data. This is the implementation that we are having. And in this theory data, let's see what this is first. So again, this is inherited from this I read only collection. And if you scroll down a little bit, then you can notice that both the methods are available at this place. So this is the get enumerator method that we were having in our class earlier, this one. And what we were doing, so from here, they are returning this data dot get enumerator. How they are preparing the data over here? Let's see that. So this data is just a list, another list. And here they are just adding the data by using this add row method. So ultimately, we are using the same approach, but this is just a wrapper on top of your data. Now it depends how many parameters you are having in your unit test case. For example, in our unit test case, we are having two parameters. So you have to provide the type for both those parameters. In case if you are having only one parameter, and I'm talking about these parameters that we are writing at this place. If you are having only one parameter, then make sure you have to provide the type over here. For example, the first parameter is string. So let's just type the string at this place. Now, what is the second one? The second one is the integer. Because we are working with the two parameters, so we can use the second one. If in case you are passing the instance of a class or one object of a class, then you can define the class type at this place. Nice. Now let's just remove all these things from here. Now we have to use the constructor. And in this constructor, there is a method add. In this add method, we have to provide our data. So remember these data that we are passing at this place. So let's use that get name and 5. And this get name is part of this first class. So let's just copy it and paste in this class also like this. Now we can add more data also over here like this. Now you can notice that this data is type safe. Why I'm talking about this type safe? So for example, from this place, I'm returning this string value. You can notice that there is no compile time error. But if I try the same thing from here, immediately you will notice that we are having one error. It says that you cannot convert string to the type integer. So this is your type safe at this place. Alright, let's just revert this one also, otherwise we will get some error. Fine. Now we have to use this new class to test our data. Using the class data is again very simple concept. You have to just replace the name at this place and we are done. Just for the testing, let's just comment all of them and test this method. You can notice that all three are working fine and it is successful. In this class data, instead of using this add, you can also use the add row method. There is no difference in the functionality. It is just like you are defining the data more explicitly. So if I'm using both of them, see what is there in this add row, ultimately they are using the add method. So you can use any one of the method. This is up to you. Now there is one more method, which is this add rows. Let's see what is there. So this add rows is available at this place. What we are doing, you are passing a list of data over here, and then again they are simply using the same add row method by using the for each loop. You can use any one of them over here. For example, you are expecting a list from some other place. You can get it and put it in the add rows. So ultimately behind the scene, this add rows will call the add row method and this add row method will call this add. So ultimately the concept is that this add method will be called. This is all about working with the parameters in your unit test case, and I hope the concept is clear now. These concepts are extremely useful if you want to organize your unit test case in such a way that you want to cover all the possible scenarios but you don't want to duplicate your code. I hope this learning is very helpful. If you have any questions or feedback, please share with me. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.